Vardagsradikal.
Fremstu röð og efla samkeppnis. Oh, hi there. So, a few days ago, the members of the Icelandic Parliament, the Alþingi, came back from their respected summer holidays, and, as is customary on such occasions, Prime Minister Katrín Jakobsdóttir laid out her policies for the administration. Now, obviously they had already laid out the policies before when she took office, but keep in mind that the administration has basically spent, all the time that she's been in office, basically going through all the laws and bills that have been in legislative limbo since the previous administration led by Bjarni Benediktsson ended so abruptly. But now we're getting into the period where we're going to see some laws and policies enacted by Katrín's administration become more prevalent. So in this video I just wanted to go through the main policies of the Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration and give you my thoughts on it. And I'm also of course going to discuss the reactions of the Icelandic opposition to the administration and also see what's going on there. Now, for those of you who don't know, Iceland is currently being governed by what is called the broad left-to-right administration of Katrín Jakobsdóttir. That is, the coalition government is formed by three parties: the Left Greens, the Progressive Party, and the Independence Party. So we have a left-leaning party, a center-right party, and a liberal conservative party. And how do these three work together? Well, it's weird. It's definitely weird. But it's also very interesting. So yeah, basically after the election of October 2017, it was very difficult for any left or right coalition to form a functioning administration, so somehow we ended up with basically taking the three most influential parties that have seats in parliament right now, setting aside their differences and trying to work together to make political stability. Whether or not it's working, we're just gonna have to see, of course. Oh, one quick little side note. Am I the only one who finds it just a little bit funny that the three heads of Iceland's three ruling political parties have all had the title of Prime Minister within the past 2 years? I don't know why, but I just find that to be very funny. So let's hear it from Katrín Jakobsdóttir herself. Við Íslendingar höfum sett okkur það markmið að verða kolefnishlutlaus ekki seinna en 2040 og þessir fyrstu áfangar sýna gjörla að okkur full alvara með því verkefni. Not only that, but the Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration vows to perhaps ban the import of new fossil fuel vehicles by the year 2030. That's 12 years from now. That's right around the corner in an economic sense, at least. This is an incredibly ambitious undertaking, as you can imagine. Now, there are some skeptics out there who have worries that, you know, what's going to happen after 2030? Are they going to impound all fossil fuel vehicles? No, obviously not. I mean, what did you expect? That all of a sudden, you're driving a fossil fuel car, here's a fine, now go get rid of the car. No, the economy won't thrive without any vehicles driving, so it just means that they won't be importing any new ones. They will import vehicles relying on other sources of energy, of course, but the remaining fossil fuel vehicles will then be slowly phased out, you know, as they all do eventually, you know, they wither out and stop working, and then they will be disposed of and replaced by more environmentally conservative cars. There will be some loopholes in this legislation, most likely, because there could be areas of the economy or certain aspects of transportation that may not have reached the full technical capabilities of fossil fuel vehicles by the year 2030, say certain type of rescue vehicles, emergency vehicles, and stuff like that. So at least they are assuming that these regulations will be adopted in a manner that is feasible without getting into the way of, well, public safety, obviously. But then again, poisoning the atmosphere with carbon dioxide is, of course, a major concern for public safety as well. Katrín also stated that her administration would put the fight against gender discrimination and sexual violence in a full priority status. Yeah, apparently Katrín is a feminist. Yeah, who knew? The administration has also pledged to increase government expenditure in order to strengthen Iceland's social infrastructure. You know, I'm guessing that means like roads, retirement homes, etc. But the exact details of this expenditure are not quite clear yet, so again, we'll have to wait and see how successful that will be. However, it needs to be noted that most financial experts agree that Iceland's yearly gross domestic input will probably decrease in the coming months and years, so the administration sees this as the perfect timing to start increasing government expenditure in order to pump more funds into Iceland society and keep the economy strong and healthy and self-reliant. So overall, this all sounds pretty great, in my opinion. You know, protecting the environment, reducing carbon monoxide, dioxide, whatever, this stuff that cars emit, becoming carbon monoxide neutral by 2040, and strengthening Iceland's infrastructure and hopefully also the social welfare programs. Yeah, these are big promises, of course. Will they be able to keep them? It's a different story. But of course this all sounds like every promise every administration ever makes, but this is of course the perfect timing to do such a thing, because right now the economy of Iceland is doing pretty good. There's a very low unemployment rate, and if the Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration is able to provide some much needed political stability, then it's much easier to maintain our social welfare system and strengthen it. So I'm gonna push my personal opinion forward here and say that on the whole, the policies of the administration right now look pretty good. Alright, now that we've gone over that, let's take a look at what the opposition had to say in regards to Katrín Jakobsdóttir's administration's proposals for the future. This will be interesting. Firstly, Sigmundur Davíð Gunnlaugsson, former Prime Minister and current leader of the Centre Party, which is a splinter group from the Progressive Party. Yeah, he was leader of the Progressive Party, but then he had a fall-in with the party leadership after he was ousted as Prime Minister back in 2016, so he created his own party. So anyway, he claims to be saddened to see the Progressive Party, which again he used to be the leader of, go behind all of their previous promises in this new administration. So, wait a minute, Sigmundur. So, you're saying that the party that you left is going behind all of its promises. So, isn't that kind of what you want them to do? I mean, you left the Progressive Party, right? Meaning you probably didn't like their policies. And now you're complaining that they're not sticking to their policies? But yeah, as his speech went on, it sounded less and less coherent, and it started to sound ever more just like the ravings of a complete lunatic. I'm not kidding. Like, I read through his speech, or excerpts from his speech 3 times, and I was not able to discern what the hell he was talking about, like, at all. Like, he's contradicted himself like 5 times, and he just went all over the place. But then again, he is a fake populist. He doesn't really know what he's saying most of the time. He just says whatever he thinks will grab him attention. So, yeah, I know, I'm trying to be unbiased, trying to be neutral, but in the case of Sigmundur David, I've given up. Like, there is no neutrality to be had here. The guy has no principles. He has no idea what he's talking about. He was never a good leader. He just... yeah, he's a bull in a china shop, basically. And okay, he did express some doubts over that the administration would be successful in banning fossil fuel vehicles before the year 2030. Again, it's not a ban, it's a ban on imports. Not the same thing. But he probably doesn't know or doesn't care. Then there was Katrín Jakobsdóttir, who is the leader of the party named Viðreisn, or Reform. Yes, by the way, she used to be a member of the Independence Party, but her and several other members of the Independence Party left and created their own Libertarian Party. Now, she warned against increased Trumpism in Icelandic politics. Pardon? Like, yeah, where did that come from? Like, Trumpism in the Icelandic government? Who? What's he talking about? Katrín? Bjarni? Sigmundur David? Oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. What the hell does that mean? Like, warns against increased Trumpism and she didn't mean, she was warning against Trumpism worldwide. No, she was specific to Iceland. I don't... yeah, I don't get it either. Maybe she's talking about the followers of Sigmundur David, and some of them are pretty fanatic, which is, yeah, admittedly, a little bit scary. Kind of like how some Trump supporters are. And now things get even weirder as we talk about Halldóra Mogensen, who is a member of the Pirate Party. And she started talking about a philosopher named, what was his name? Paulo Freire. Paulo Freire compared schools to banks. That is that students are, teachers insert knowledge into the minds of students, who then implement this knowledge into standardized tests, kind of like investing in a bank wisely shows, I don't know. Basically, she's comparing to how modern societies and school systems turn people into autocratic robots who strive for nothing other than to make a profitable and efficient society. Okay, first off, yeah, that's basically what schools do. They do that very well, and that is a very good thing, which is beneficial to society. So, and what does that have to do to, say, the environmental positions of the administration of Katrín, or the proposed budget increase proposals? Like, what the... There were several more pirates who gave speeches on the setting of the fall parliament, and yeah, every one of them, every one of their speeches just made very little sense and was very incomprehensible and seemed to have almost nothing to do with the current Icelandic politics. It was trippy, to say the least. So my takedown of all of this is that you may not entirely like the administration of Katrín, and I respect that, but what is the opposition doing? Like, seriously, they're just all over the place and very incapable of coming up with a single comprehensive or structural criticism of the administration. Maybe that's a sign of that the administration is just doing such a wonderful job that they can't be critiqued in a normal manner, or maybe it's just that the opposition just sucks at what they're doing. It's one or the other, or maybe a combination of both, but man. Lastly, I'm gonna talk about Brynjar Níelsson, because after a weird video like this, I need to read something from the mouth of perhaps Iceland's funniest current senator. Yeah, he's a member of the Independence Party, and this guy, he's just adorably funny. Like, I don't know if he's intentional, but yeah, he could become a comedian, if you ask me. But yeah, he basically said that the speeches of the pirates were so incomprehensible that he would rather spend the entire day in solitary confinement rather than to listen to them again. And yeah, those are some pretty strong words. And I have to admit, I kind of felt the same after reading the excerpts from the pirate speeches. I mean, man, I mean, I like the idea of, you know, bringing up a little bit of philosophy in politics every now and then, but this was just so out of nowhere and so unrelated to anything, and yeah. But yeah, leave it to Brynjar Níelsson to bring a little bit of a humor to a complicated situation. Thank you, Brynjar. I'll give you that. You are at least a very funny politician. For that, you get an A+ rating. But this also tells us that the Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration may be incredibly successful in implementing some of their policies, while the opposition sucks so bad at what they're supposed to be doing, which is opposing. So, yeah, right now the administration is sitting on a pretty green path towards success. At least they have the potential to become very successful. But again, time will tell. So yeah, this was just my rant on the current state of affairs in Icelandic governance. I hope you liked the video, and like and subscribe and share this video. And in due time I'll bring you more updates to how the political situation in Iceland is unfolding. This video. First I was sitting down, now I'm standing, and at some point my shirt decided to magically unbutton itself. Fuck you, shirt. What have I ever done to you, aside eating fattening foods and getting you all greased up with pizza? Fuck you. And why the hell do you show so clearly how fat I am? Yeah, look at this. My own shirt is fat-shaming me. My own shirt is letting me down. I may have had one too many of these.
Das Radikal.